2, 1. Bing. All right. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo están todos ustedes? Good afternoon. Welcome to Nuestra Comunidad Noroeste de Indiana. Aquí cada viernes a las 10 de la mañana y cada viernes a las 5 de la tarde y cada viernes a las 10 de la mañana. Bienvenidos aquí a nuestros estudios desde Gary, Indiana. We're all the way out here. GI people. Shout out to my GI folks and to our YouTubers and our Facebookers. And of course, thank you, Scotty, for manning the board as always. We appreciate you. We have some special guests coming up, but before we start, the views expressed by the host and the callers of the show not necessarily the views of WLTH radio management, owners and sponsors and advertisers. And it's
Why am I hearing our theme song?
because it's on.
Oh, I'm not hearing it now.
And you make me laugh, Juan.
Well,
How's
I'm
it
not
going,
hearing
Juan?
It's going.
Yeah, be aware of your surroundings.
I wasn't hearing it. That's what I was saying.
You're gonna hear us, not the music. But the music was in the headphones there. Anyway, all right. What's going on over there, Juan?
Well, first and foremost,
Don't make all that noise,
to
man.
my dear,
Calladito. Te ves más bonito.
to my dear neighbor, I just say Frank was supposed to have a medical procedure today. Something that my father had back in what was it, 70s or something, way back then. But I'm not going to say too much other than if he had his procedure today, I prayed that God was with him from beginning to end, including after recovery. If he hasn't had his procedure today, I hope God will be with him from beginning to end and also after whatever rehab that he may require. Real quickly though, next Saturday is the Latino Resource Fair, October 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is sponsored by the Hispanic Community Committee. Proudly presents Con Orgullo Latino Resource Fair, and that will be at the Irving Elementary School at 4727 Pine Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. So there's a lot of vendors, including Nuestra Comunidad Northwest Indiana will be a vendor as always. A lot of information resources from government, from agencies, from non-for-profits, from healthcare facilities and so forth, from schools, free food, entertainment, the health clinic, raffles, and more. But this year, I was on the committee, so this year they are adding information workshops at the Latino Resource Fair, such as on home buying, real estate tips by the presenter, Lisa Lara, quality child care, Lourdes Chavez, immigration updates, Candida Torres, dual language immersion, Tony Salinas. And those workshops will be repeated again in the afternoon. That event, as I indicated, will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is a family event. It's not just for Hispanics. And it is coming up next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So next Saturday, even I will be doing our show from the Latino Resource Fair. In addition to that, we are going to be doing some Facebook Live interviews throughout at the Latino Resource Fair. So pretty much on that note, that's it. And prayers to my dear neighbor, Frank.
All right. Well, that was a pretty short message from you, Juan. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you for what you do also in the community. And of course, I don't know, do you know if they still have space for Latino Fair?
I don't know, but
okay, I'll just shoot a text.
Only because I'm not on the committee.
Okay, I'll just shoot a text. That's all right. No problema. So tune in now, and I'm glad that you are tuned in to us here on Nuestra Comunidad NWI, Northwest Indiana. We thank you for joining us every weekend, and I hope some of you know us, and I'm going to keep it real. Can I keep it real, Juan? DeMarco, can I keep it real?
I would.
Because that's all I can do is keep it real. For those of you that know Juan and know myself, know me, for the last, I don't know how many years, can you put in on your calendar the dates and times that we come on? Because it's sadly but true. We promote you, but you don't know when we come on the air. I won't say what I think about that, but I appreciate it if you would. share the information. We're the only bilingual talk program of its kind in the region and beyond. And of course, we're going to celebrate 9 years coming up October 30th of this year. We started October 30th, 2010. So if those of you that have been listening, can you tell us when we come on the air? What do you think, Juan? Do you think they know? Do you think they remember? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Well, just a few commercials, a few announcements rather, before we go into some commercials. It's 7 minutes after the hour. We have some guests coming on. One is calling in, and it's a special surprise last minute guest that will be calling in. And of course, we have Mr. DeMarco here from the new school that's here in the studio, and his lovely wife, Griselda. They are coming all the way from North Lawndale area and Chicago area. So we thank them for being here with us. And we have great things to share, what they're doing in the region, in Indiana and Illinois. Here we are bridging the gap between two states. Here we are bringing the Black and Brown communities together. And speaking of Black and Brown communities, I want to thank the East Chicago Public Library, Ms. Marla and Latanya Hicks, for inviting me to be a speaker yesterday. I kind of bored them and made them hungry because I was talking about ethnic dishes based on the state of whatever states we have in Mexico. Juan, do you know how many states we have in Mexico?
No.
I didn't either. I had to Google it and research it, The reason why I didn't know how many states, because I haven't had the need to really know how many states, but there's 31 states in Mexico as of now. I know we had more because United States took some of those states from us. But that's another day to discuss that in history. But we were called United Mexican States. Did you know that? United Mexican States. And I said it 3 times yesterday at the library. I said, did you guys hear that? United Mexican States. That said something. Hello. Ding, that the bell ring, that the light go on. We should be united. My Mexicans, my Latinos, my Black and Brown families, we need to come united. But we're so divided because of our differences. Instead of trying to put our differences aside or settle our differences, or better yet, let's work on and focus on the common goal, which is to make this America a better place, make it safer for our kids. Let them be our goal, to improve the quality of life, to improve the quality of education. That has been my number one goal every single day that I work here on this earth, doing just that, to help improve the quality of life. My life is improved because I know how to control my mind, but I cannot say that about everybody. I cannot say that about those that are listening or watching, because I have seen and I have witnessed how people allow their mind to take control, or situations or people. I can only teach how to not let that get to you or get the best of you. And so we're all about solutions, and we have a solution here today. But speaking of solutions, I'd like for all of you to just join us with Safe Coalition for Human Rights. We're a committee of 12 professionals. We are inviting for volunteers to join us. We have a dinner coming up on the 11th of October at the Indian Cultural Center in Maryville, Indiana. And I think on Maryville Road, if I'm not mistaken. Tickets are all on Eventbrite. It says Save 100 Lives, because our goal is to build a safe village so that we can save and house 100 lives at a time. And these would be victims that have been human trafficked. And they will be taken care of in every area, mind, body, and soul. And also on the 12th, for my golfers, we are having a golf outing at Wicker Park in Highland, Indiana. And that registration's at 10:30 in the morning at Wicker Park. It's on Eventbrite as well. It's called Teeing Off for a Safe Cause. So if you go to Eventbrite, you'll find it under Teeing Off for a Safe Cause. And that is also brought to you by Safe Coalition for Human Rights. If you want to know about what we're doing or why we're here, why we're in existence, please go to our website, safechr.org. Support us. Don't wait until it happens to you or to a loved one or to a neighbor. Believe you me, human trafficking is bigger than you know, and we're working on statistics. I know that I got a not-for-profit that reached out to me. I've yet to reach back, but we're working on getting statistics to know exactly the percentage of victims that have been rescued in the region but it is happening in Portage. It is happening in Hobart. It is happening, period. And the fact that we know that it's happening, but you may not know how big it is, I think you need to educate yourself. So don't forget those two important dates. We'd like for everybody to support this cause because it could happen to your child or your friend's child or your children's friend or anyone for that matter. Let's not wait until it happens to support a cause. And I've seen it by some people that they won't support it until it personally happens to them. So let's be proactive and not inactive. This is Nuestra Comunidad Noroeste de Indiana here on WLTH, AM 1370, the region's choice and the people's voice, 92.7 and 1370 AM. And of course, we're streaming live on 1370WLTH.com. And we're going to go right into our interview. Even though it's 12 minutes after the hour, we want to thank Mr. Chandler. Thank you, DeMarco, for your patience and you coming all the way out here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, happy to have you here. And of course, with your lovely wife, Griselda. She's the back scene, the type of person. She's our brain or part of our brain that works the site and works. I mean, well, I won't. I'll have you. I won't steal your thunder. I'll have you tell me about your wife or tell us about your wife. And first of all, thank you again. Muchas gracias, DeMarco, por estar aquí con nosotros. Sabemos que ustedes están haciendo buen trabajo en la comunidad. And DeMarco's like, what is that you saying? But thank you again. And DeMarco, I know that we're going to have a special guest calling in too as well. Hopefully, yes.
Yeah,
I hope
she got mixed
in.
up and called in earlier. And then.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, wrong show. Miss Christine Houston, for those of you that have gotten your magazine, or if you have not gotten your magazine, please subscribe to it. And I'll have Mr. DeMarco tell us how to subscribe or how you can get your copy in your hands. One side is one queen and bam, another queen on the other side. So we're going to talk to Miss Christine. Hopefully she'll call in and she can tell you about herself. So speaking about telling you about yourself, telling us about yourself, can you tell us who DeMarco Chandler is?
You always seem to ask that question when I come out of the Gary.
Well, because the listeners don't know, but I do.
No, I have no problem.
And you like to just get right into what you do, but there's a history behind it. There's a reason why you do what you do. So tell us.
Okay, well, I'm a publisher and I am a teacher. Let's see which one we want to talk about first.
Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago,
okay.
Illinois. Born in Great Lakes, Illinois. My mom was she was in the Air Force, and the Air Force trained their people at the Navy base there too. So the Navy base is in Great Lakes, Illinois. And so grew up here, went to school here, ended up leaving Chicago, going out to Los Angeles with a band, trying to do something in music. I was playing piano at the time, so we got out to California and stayed together. Played a lot of gigs in California, but it just doesn't feed you, playing those $15 a night gigs per person. So, and this was back in the 1980s. So I'm telling you my age, aren't I?
Oh, you're young.
Yeah, okay,
age is
right.
only a number.
So it was in the 1980s, and so I ended up following a path that led me to history, and I graduated from California State University and with a degree in ancient history. Went on to Claremont to pursue a PhD. Didn't finish the PhD, went all ABD, but I got a master's in the process. Following that history, I could tell you more because when I was in California, I ended up buying a nightclub called BB King's in Universal City Walk. So that became a very important benchmark in my life because I loved entertainment, as you could, as you understand it, since I was a pianist, I was into entertainment. But the main thing is that when I got to BB King's and started running this nightclub, I learned how to do marketing. And so I was very successful in running that particular club. But when I left BB King's, I decided to go to Las Vegas. I went to Las Vegas and ended up starting my own newspaper called Guardian. Actually, it was called the Las Vegas Guardian.
Okay.
Until the Guardian UK sent me a lawsuit letter, telling me that I had to remove the name Guardian. And so I didn't do it. We ended up being able to keep the name Guardian. I had to just do some finagling with the symbol of the name, or we used a logo that had the G instead of spelling the name out, Guardian, on the website. But it had a tremendous impact on me and the direction my life went in from, because in Vegas, not only did I print a newspaper, we delivered the newspaper ourselves.
Okay.
About 10,000 copies to a retirement community in Sun City, Anthems.
Go ahead.
Did you? Okay. All right. I didn't know. Okay.
Keep talking.
So then what occurred is I ended up making a great deal of money in publishing because we went online, and in going online, we were able to generate income based on the amount of traffic that we received. And this is in 2012, 2013. In 2013, our traffic rose to about 5 million visitors a month, which is a tremendous amount of people. I can tell you that translates to anywhere from $40,000 to $80,000 in income a month, because you can leverage that kind of traffic, and actually advertisers look for you. This is what locked me into journalism.
All right.
Is the idea that we grew so fast, we made so much money while we're in Vegas, that I decided this was going to be my career for the rest of my life. So I ended up leaving Las Vegas, deciding, since I'm the publisher of a digital newspaper, because those were online sales. We were a print newspaper, but we stopped doing the print because you pretty much lose money with a print newspaper at that time. So I decided to come to Chicago, since everything I did was online. You can move anywhere, and start a journalism school here in the inner city. So we set ourselves up on the west side of Chicago at a place called St. Agatha's. St. Agatha's has been very good to us because they adopted the name that we had already used as our venture, and the name of our school was called the New School. So they adopted it and they call it St. Agatha's New School. So it's a new school, or St. Agatha's New School. And if anybody wants to see what we have online, it's thenewschool.com. You can go to it. Don't forget to put the 2 S's in there. So it's the news and then school.com. So that's where I'm set now. I'm running a journalism school. Oh, okay. I'm running a journalism school that that has its door open to train youth to become journalists, and we certify them, and we get them their press passes, and we get them out on the street working. And from there, while the school was going, we decided to go ahead and start a newspaper, which is what you talk, a magazine rather, is what you which you're talking, and that is called Generation. So the Generation magazine is the magazine that we are currently publishing and printing in Chicago and in Gary.
Wow.
So that's a quick summary.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And how many newspapers do you have, did you say?
So online,
yes,
digital newspapers, we have 12.
12.
Yeah.
That's a lot of writing.
A lot of writing.
That's a lot of articles.
Yeah.
What typically do you or what type of articles are you publishing?
Politics articles in the political arena, health articles that cover good living and taking good nutrition, or being cognizant of your surroundings. So nutrition is another area we cover in the magazine. Entertainment is a big area that we cover. And so those are the main 3. But then there's education that pretty much covers, or actually umbrellas, all the categories that we cover. So education, and when I say education, I'm speaking of civics, education in our politics, and education again in health, and then also education that covers traditional academia. So,
okay, we're trying to fix the cameras out here, and I think we may have our caller, but we're going to go for a commercial. We're going to go for commercial breaks as we get our guests to be calling in. So we're not going anywhere, but just wait there, pause while we go for some commercials. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these. Some reason I got you, but do you? I'm not cut out. He is. But it looks fine on Juan's. That's what I was
But
trying
when
to
you're
fix.
online looking at it, I'm cut out.
Yeah, but you see how it is
Yeah,
on
it looks
his?
fine on yours.
I mean, oh well, that's better then, because that's not what I'm seeing. Oh, and I was see, and you see, DeMarco looks cut out on mine. We're gonna leave that one alone. Yes, please. Is that Miss Houston?
So I'm looking and talking to her.
This is radio, right?
Yeah, radio. Isn't that?
We're live streaming on YouTube. We're live streaming on Facebook. We're live streaming on the streaming channel as well.
For that background, I'm gonna switch your sleeve over. This is Kim Turbo. He fits prosthetic limbs.
Wow, did it like just get real dark outside?
Mm-hmm.
What's their the name of their new show? No, it's hey sweetheart, what's the name of your show? Sizzle. I was like, wait, I need to remember that. The Sizzle. The Sizzle's coming up after this show.
Attention,
Yeah.
Are you turning 65 and do you have questions regarding
Hey,
your
how
medical
are you?
coverage? Do you need to explore your options and choose a plan that covers your medical needs? Call me. I am Araceli Corona, a licensed insurance agent serving Illinois and Indiana. 77968-6619 and 219-801-76. Call me and I am glad to answer your questions, help you explore your options and plans. If you are turning 65, have Medicare, you may qualify to select a plan. I am a licensed and certified agent here to help. 773-968-6619 and 219-801-1276. I look forward to your call. Araceli Corona is not connected with the
What'd you
federal Medicare program. Atención, recibidores de
Share it
Medicare.
on the other
Cumple
page.
65 años y tiene preguntas sobre sus coberturas del Medicare. Necesita verificar sus opciones y elegir un plan que mejor cubra sus necesidades médicas. Llámenme. Soy Araceli Corona, un agente de seguros sirviendo Illinois, Indiana. Háblenme al 773-968-6619 o 219-801-1276. Puedo ayudarle a contestar sus preguntas y explorar sus opciones en Medicare. Si tiene Medicare y quiere cambiar su plan médico hoy, usted puede calificar. Soy una agente licenciada y certificada y espero su llamada. Araceli Corona no está conectada con el programa federal de Medicare.
All right. Welcome back. Yep, we're ready. Welcome back. We're listening to Nuestra Comunidad Noroeste de Indiana, WLTH AM 1370 y 92.7 FM. Of course, is AM 1370, the Region's Choice and the People's Voice. And of course, we're also on 92.7 FM and live streaming. I know that we don't have the video, but we have the audio, so you're at least able to hear us, but you can see us if you want to know what we look like. Of course, some of you already know what we look like, but our guest is here, Mr. DeMarco Taylor, and on the line, we also have none other than an awesome celebrity, Christine Houston. We're going to have her introduce herself in just a minute. Juan, you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to your major media, I'm talking about major television, major newspapers, and everything else. Pretty much they are dominated when it comes to ownership by people of non-color. You said here you have quite an array of newspaper, I guess, radio, and I mean not radio, but magazines and so forth. So, what is your opinion, just real quickly, about the lack of ownership by people of color in this country as it relates to major, and I'm talking about multi-million-dollar media?
Yeah.
What is your thought on that?
Yeah. Well, I've been looking at the entrepreneurship in America.
Right.
And over the last 5 years, some of the things I've run across in terms of understanding why. why we don't see people of color owning radio stations or media, especially newspapers, magazines, and online digital newspapers. And usually it's because there's no one that is mentoring them or that they can see that is of color doing it. So it's very important that we get people like myself and others that are even Eve, people like Eve and yourself. We have to get out here and expose what we do to our community.
That's right.
We need to do that, and we desperately need to do it because there's good money to be made in this area, and we just don't know that it is, and our people don't know that it is. That we're our children are brought up on rap music, and they think, hey, let me get into rap. But it's the odds of you doing something in rap or as a basketball player, as a baseball player, are significantly lower than you getting into business, entrepreneurship. And you can do that in multimedia. You can do that with newspapers. You can do that with magazines. So that's my thought, is that we need to somehow amplify what we do, amplifying that in ways of letting people know on social media. If we have to advertise on television, if we have to advertise like we're doing here on radio,
Right.
but we've got to do some amplification, and then we got to go into the community,
Right.
and train and show these people, or show our community, that the possibilities in media.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you for asking that question.
That's a good question. We need more. Pretty much. We need more. But there is a lot of media when it comes to the news. We have a phone call, or is it our guest? Okay, go ahead. You're on the air.
No.
Oh, hang up if you need help. Did we lose our guest?
No.
Oh, go ahead, Miss Christine. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am blessed by the best, and now even double with you being on with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So, Miss Christine Houston, some of you may know who she is, and I'm holding up online the magazine Generation. Miss Christine Houston, if you can do me the honor and let our audience know who you are.
Well, as you said, my name, I'm Christine Houston, creator and writer of the show, television show 227, which is now in syndication. I also teach at Chicago State University. I teach playwriting, screenwriting, and writing for television. I have written a book called Laughing Through the Tears, and it's to educate people of color on the disease, Alzheimer's, and dementia.
Wow.
Prevalent in the community of color, more so than any other ethnic race.
That's awesome, and I think that's commendable, because you know it's needed, and so thank you for doing that. And how many of you actually heard the sitcoms that she wrote the scripts for, that now have become very famous, which today we can always go back and watch them? That's The Jeffersons, 227, Punky Brewster, to name a few. Juan, do you have any questions for Miss Houston? She is the woman of the hour right now, and we're thankful that I'm partnering with her, and she's on one of the covers, one side of the cover of the magazine, and I'm along with her on that. So that's an honor to me to be with her.
A few weeks ago, I was at the Miss Latina Expo 2019 in Chicago for 2 days. It was quite I guess, an opportunity to be there. They had a few seminars or workshops each and every day, and they had 2 people there that are of Hispanic descent in one of the workshops or one of the seminars, and the topic had to do with the lack of, in this case, Hispanics or people of color in major roles when it comes to, I guess, the movie industry, the film industry. And so, and I also brought up the point when they gave a Q&A, the fact that we have, when we look at the lack of directors, assistant directors, producers, assistant producers, whatever the term is, that are missing when it comes to people of color, that's one of the main reasons too that we don't have people of color in major roles when it comes to film and so forth. So Eve just said, and I think she mentioned that before, where you helped. You were what was she, the writer, or for some of these shows, of which I watched most of them, some more than others. So what, based upon what Mr. Chandler said when I asked him the question about lack of people of color in major ownership or roles when it comes to media, or in this case, movies or filming, whatever the case may be, what can you add to what that Mr. Chandler said? I don't know if you did or not. What can you add that people that are in those positions of color can do to help those that are of color that want to get into the business? Did she hear my question?
I'll answer that.
Okay.
I teach at Chicago State a multiracial group of students, and from time to time, in fact, every semester, I have people of Spanish speaking and culture, and I always encourage them to write and to enter their writing, write film, write plays, and enter them into contests that you can find on internet. You can enter these contests. If you're a student, you can enter the college festival based in Washington, D.C. If you're not a student, you can always ask your professor. When you take a class, you definitely need to take a class in writing and film making. And when you do so, your instructor at Chicago State or at whatever university or college, doesn't have to be a university, it could be a junior college. I got my start at Kennedy King Junior College. And you can go through the educational system in order to get your work out there. But you have to want to do it, and you have to educate yourself on how to write and how to get it out there. We don't have people of color doing the writing of the film and directing of the film because they're not going into the industry and making themselves qualified to compete. Must compete with others in order to break into the industry. And in order to compete, you have to prepare yourself educational wise.
Thank you so much.
That is very important. And we have an event coming up where we are opening the doors to our students to get firsthand training as a workshop on acting with some celebrities, some actors that are out there filmmaking, producing, and acting, whatnot, here in Gary, Indiana, coming up in October, the 11th and the 12th, and that's a Taste of Theater with Victor Gully. It's a festival, and so I know that he's been wanting to have a conversation with you guys on that, and that's something that we need to continue to spread upon our region for our youth. And I know that we all have that common goal: is what do we do, or what can we do to help our youth, to get them off the street? They all have a gift or a talent of some sort. They can dance, they can sing, they can write, or they can do photography, or they can edit, or they know computers. They just don't know they have all those gifts. So with what you're doing, Miss Christine, what you're doing, DeMarco, what Victor's doing, what we're doing, we compile it up and put it together, and we'll find a lot more talent and gifts if we're coming all together. And that's great.
In Maryville, Indiana, I have been trying for the last 2 years to get into the Indiana University. There's one right off of Broadway.
Yep, Indiana University, IUN. As a matter of fact, we're going to have this Taste of Theater festival at the new theater that's right there with IUN and Ivy Tech, and right there on the corner, the Arts and Science building. Have you looked at their theater? Have you seen it, Miss Christine?
I have not. I've been trying to get in there.
Well, we're going to get you in there. we're going to get you in there, Ms. Christine, and I'm going to introduce you to the people that are responsible for that to get you in there. And hopefully we can do something, some type of work with them because we have a lot of talent regionally and not just Indiana University Northwest, not just in Ivy Tech, but there's kids out there that just did not like high school, college, or were not college material. And with that, I'm going to go and turn it over to DeMarco and let us know what is it that he's offering, because I know that the new school is offering a program and we'd like to get our kids involved.
Yeah, so it's a basic journalism class that also teaches our youth, and it's not just youth. I also teach adults, but it also we're focusing in on youth. But we teach them how to edit videos, how to do graphic art, and also how to design a newspaper and a magazine. The whole process from beginning to end, how to do the design, and then the production of it. So our foundation is based on teaching the rules of reading and writing, the fundamental rules. In other words, refreshing some that don't need it. But most of the people in the inner cities that we have encountered need some real foundational work in reading and foundational work in writing.
Right.
So we're emphasizing that because we know that if you can read and you can communicate well, you're going to be able to unlock just about any door of opportunity in this country that we live in. So that's the foundation of what we try to do. I don't know if you've ever read some of the things that Malcolm X has talked about when it comes to reading and writing, but here's a man that was troubled in the streets and that believed that, a gun could solve your problems. And he ended up in jail. He ended up reading about reading and studying the dictionary. He actually went from A to Z in the dictionary. And what he came out with a principle or a foundational understanding that words could be more powerful than bullets.
Right.
And this is something that I have kept with me after reading about Malcolm X's life, and that idea of how powerful words can be in terms of navigating through life, through the opportunities that life can offer. So that's why we focus in on the youth, because you got to get them early. And those are the people, at least in Chicago, that I find lacking. And that's one of the reasons. I think there's a lot of reasons for the violence that we have in Chicago.
Right.
But and probably you might have seen some of the same violence here in Gary.
Chicago, Gary.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have to find a way to get our kids to understand that a purpose-driven life is perhaps a life with, let's say, an enhanced. I have a term that I use, and that is quality of life.
That's right.
So there's no one you could walk up to today and ask, would you want a better quality of life? There's no one that would say no to that question.
Right.
I don't care if they're a millionaire or they're poor. Everybody, to the sound of my voice,
That's right,
wants to have a better quality of life.
At least you would think that everyone should, yes, if they don't know any better. But on that, we have a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Thank you so much for holding.
Good evening. I'm afternoon. I was listening to your conversation, and my thing is, we keep saying to break into the field. Why do we have to break into a field that really doesn't want blacks? You mentioned, I heard the lady mention about getting into IU school, into their theater. Right down the street, you got two theaters, Glen and the Black Stage, that are owned by Gary residents.
Right.
Why not break into those? And I think that's the problem with, and I'm a black man born in Chicago, been in Gary for over 25 plus years and a business owner. My grandfather was one of the first black dealerships in Illinois. So I've been in the business family all my life. So when we talk about business, I look at how at one time, and I heard the gentleman mention Chicago. Are you from Chicago?
Yes, I'm from Chicago.
Okay, I was born and raised there, still have family there.
Awesome.
And one time in certain areas, in the North Lawndale area, the Woodlawn area, and even in the Inglewood area, and even right here in Gary, a lot of the business were owned by blacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the transition of the business, of a lot of the business there,
And the reason people lost them because we didn't teach the next generation the business ethics and also financial. Because a lot of the business were lost due to mismanagement of money. We saw business making money, and the next thing you know, you make sure that the family died and the business died with that person. Because we didn't teach the next generation on how to run the business. And I think that's the biggest problem we got when we talk about not owning anything in our community. When you look around the Black communities, I think we got more Cadillacs, Mercedes-Benzes, and Lexus than you see in other businesses. But we won't invest back into our business. I'm a business owner here in the city of Gary. I've been in business for over 13 years. And when we talk about people, a lot of people say, well, there's no money in Gary. There's got to be money in Gary. There's got to be money in Lonsdale and those areas because people come here to open business.
Right.
And when you look at it, we mention rap as the first downfall. Everything starts with a seed, even a tree. Let's go back to where the seed started.
That's right.
With welfare and Black exploitation movies. That's where the seed first started. And I know there are more white people on welfare than any other race. But when you look into Chicago, the project that was built, I lived in Stateway Gardens, but my mother and family members didn't make Stateway Gardens our final home. We looked for better, but you get a lot of people with the welfare system at that time. The more kids you had, the more money you got.
Right.
And then the father was not allowed to be in the house. So the father, matriarch of the family, became the woman. Well, not the woman, it became the welfare system. Because the welfare system was taking care of the house. So the husband, the father, would just come back every now and then, and because he didn't want the social worker to catch him there, it came to a point where he didn't come back at all.
Right.
And I think right now, when you look into the entertainment world, the sports world, we have more Black millionaires and billionaires than ever before. But they are not investing into the trades because right now the trades is one of the biggest things out.
Right.
And when you look into a lot of the urban Black communities, and we look into our school system, we don't have trades.
Right.
But I always said this thing, well, we used to have. Okay, I think we need to fix the problem of why we lost them and try to get them back. Blaming rap music because I have 5 kids. And they all know rap songs, but none of them have ever went out and committed a crime or anything. The problem is parenting. The problem starts.
That's right. It starts at home. That's right. We do have to go for some commercials. We were allowed only a certain amount of time for our guests and callers to call in, rather. We thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. We'll be right back after these commercials. Don't go anywhere here on Nuestra Comunidad NWI.
Attention Medicare recipients. Are you turning 65 and do you have questions regarding your Medicare coverage?
Or your mom.
Do you need to explore your options and choose a plan that covers your medical needs?
One of the original.
Call me.
It was one
I
of the
am
original
Araceli Corona,
theaters
a licensed
that's
insurance
still
agent
existing because
serving
one of our
Illinois
state
and Indiana.
representatives, which is also a professor at IUM,
968-6619
rebuilt
and
it,
219-801-1276.
festivals that come
Call
out of
me
there.
and I am
Film festivals
glad
come
to
out of
answer
there.
your
Not just
questions,
at IUM.
help you explore your options,
So we
and
just haven't talked about
plans.
that. But
If you are
sometimes
turning
callers like to jump
65,
in, not knowing
have
the conversations
Medicare,
we've had
you
or
may
we
qualify
have,
to
so.
select a plan.
But he
I
has
am
a
a
point.
licensed and
He has
certified
a point
agent
to a
here
certain
to
extent.
help. 773-968-6619 and 219-801-1276. I look forward to your call. Araceli Corona is not connected with the federal Medicare program. Attention Medicare recipients. Are you turning 65 and do you have questions regarding your Medicare? Atención recibidores de Medicare. Cumplen 65 años y tiene preguntas sobre sus coberturas del Medicare. Necesita verificar sus opciones y elegir un plan que mejor cubra sus necesidades médicas. Llámenme. Soy Araceli Corona.
Hope you guys are joining us and learning something from this, and we'd like for you to be part of this as well, because it does take a village to raise a child, and so we're bringing solutions to the table. Are you willing to join us too, right? Bring in your kids. Bring them to the school. Find a ride for them. Sometimes we make excuses for our kids to be successful. do what it takes to make it happen for your child. I'm just keeping it real. You know, I'm a single mother, raised 2 kids, and I think I can pat myself in the back with the grace of God that I was able to educate my kids at home and for them to have a good education. You know, they're public school products, but parents got to be on it. They got to be there. They got to be in their life, and that makes a difference. And yes, it does start at home, just like the caller said. But we can only do so much for these parents to get up and do it. They have to be willing to also participate in their child's life. But as the Crossing School of Business Entrepreneurship, we don't wait for their parents to get involved. We get involved. You know, and they're off to a fall break now, and they get 2 weeks for fall break because their summer vacation gets shortened. They're only off 5 weeks for summer. So our kids are not out at the same time as everybody else.
Now in Northwest Indiana, we're proud to introduce Agape, a futuristic transportation service owned and operated by Emmanuel Smith.
Share these videos. Share us from YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Nuestra Comunidad NWI. And of course, friend us on our page, Nuestra Comunidad NWI WLTH, or like us on Nuestra Comunidad NWI. If you're learning from what we bring here on the air, we're here every weekend. If you guys memorized it, Fridays at 5, Saturdays at 10 a.m. All right, welcome back. AM 1370 and 92.7 Nuestra Comunidad NWI on WLTH Radio, the region's choice and the people's voice. And if you want to call in, we have a few minutes left, at least about 10 minutes, 219-885-1371, 219-885-1371. Miss Christine Houston, are you still with us? Are you still with us, Miss Houston?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Anything else you'd like to add or comment to the caller? There are 2 other theaters. They are Black owned. They are in Gary, Indiana. One of them has a film festival every single year. He also is part of a non-for-profit for the youth, for the male youth. And so he's very successful at what he does. He has several events, and he's always incorporating the community with what he does. And we just have not, you and I, have that conversation yet. But I'm all about supporting small businesses. I don't live in Gary, Indiana anymore, but I still support Gary, Indiana. And I do see lack of support, small businesses to small businesses, or just our communities, you know, supporting that. But any comments to what he said, Ms. Houston?
All I would comment about the business is that there are Black businesses. We just need to support them. And then if we support them, the owners of the Black business would be so quick to sell out to other nationalities that come over here and open up business, which happened in Chicago. All of a sudden, all the Black business started selling out to the Muslims and the people coming from out of the United States and opening up, that took over J&J Fish, that took over the gas stations, took over the beauty supplies. Those businesses were, so some of them that were owned by Blacks sold to those people just to get the money. And they said it was because we weren't patronizing them. So I think that Black people should get to come together and do and open up the businesses, and we should be encouraged to patronize.
Right. No, and that is true, and that's what we strive to do here in Gary, Indiana, is to tell others to support other people's small businesses.
And I would like to help anyone who is interested in the entertainment field, as far as film, acting, in front of the camera and behind the camera. That's what I do, and that's what I'm here for. And if I could get into one of the universities in Gary, and even if it was an adult education program, that would take in people of all ages, and they wouldn't have to enroll into the university in order to take that class.
So if they don't have to enroll into the university, that is a key thing to say, Ms. Christine, because then you can possibly partner and utilize the other theaters that are in Gary that are on Broadway.
That would be totally
right off Broadway.
Up to the university or the college
To make it creditable? Are you talking about to be a credited class?
No, it would be like an adult education,
continuing education
class.
Right.
Where they would pay a small fee, but they would not have to register as a student in the university or the college.
Got you. Well, we'll have that conversation off the air. And anything else you'd like to comment, Ms. Christine? And we thank you again for your time and
I think you're doing a wonderful job. I think the magazine is very, very important. And I think our people should learn to write. And if they cannot go into the university, they may not want to go to the university. There should be a program that they can enter. And I'm trying to get a grant to just that.
All right.
So that they can learn and write. And it's very helpful in anything they want to go into.
Well, we're certainly going to work on that. If I have anything to do with it, I'll connect you with the people that can possibly make that happen, Ms. Christine. And we have a caller. Yes? Go ahead, caller. Yes, sir.
I'm back to mention one thing. I talked to a friend of my father who was a gas station owner in the city of Chicago. He owned like about 6 gas stations. And I talked to him right before I opened my business. I asked him, why did he get rid of the gas station? He said the reason he got rid of the gas station is because over the period of time, it seemed like everybody that came to his gas station that was of his race figured that they should get the skin color discount. I do that with my business, where people come in, they feel just because we are both, I'm a black business owner, and you are a black customer, that I'm supposed to give you a discount. Off the back, when you would go somewhere else and spend money with no problem at all. It's like, coming to your shop. Ask you how much how much did you pay for that part? It's not how much I pay for the part. This is what I'm selling it to you for.
Exactly.
If you want to buy it, it's on you. But they will go into one of these automotive business. They will go in one of these other automotive shops and won't ask no question at all what the price the person gives. They will pay it with no problem. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of blacks don't want to open up business in our community. Because right off the bat, we already got to fight against the bigger business. I'm just saying with my business, I have to fight against the bigger shops. I have to fight against the element mechanic. Then I got to fight against that person that just because I'm black and you come in my shop, I'm supposed to give you a discount.
Wow. Thank you for your comments. Appreciate that. And that's a small-minded individual. We have to support each other. I go into these restaurants and I've been promoting them, and I should have the right to say, can you bless me with the meal? I just advertise you. I don't even say that. I don't even ask to even do that because they're Latinos and I'm Latinos. How else are we going to make them bread and butter, bring bread and butter to the table, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We gotta open up our minds and open up our hearts and our pockets too. Mr. DeMarco, where are these classes happening, and who is your target audience, and how can we get some more information?
Okay, so I'm in North Lawndale. The gentleman mentioned he familiar with North Lawndale. So I'm in North Lawndale on Douglas and Kedzie at St. Agatha's Catholic Church. And you can contact me by you can go to the website, which is learn.thenewschool.com, or you can go to thenewschool.com. Or what about is it okay to give my phone
Whatever
number?
you want people to know.
So my phone number is 872-201-7522. Now, the beautiful thing about the program is you can live anywhere in Chicago, and we will give you we will get you a stipend to participate as an intern.
Wow.
So in other words, if you're interested in writing and becoming a journalist or reporter or a news broadcaster, or you want to be in the background, you don't want to be in the foreground, you want to be in the background, and you want to do the graphic artwork, you want to do video editing, then you want to give me a call, because I am looking to bring interns. Let me give you the age 16 to 24. Those interns, I'm able to provide them with what we call a stipend. Those stipends run anywhere from $200 to $300 a week. Nice. And so you're getting paid to learn and perform. So
you said 16 to 24? Jeez, 16, I missed 24. That mark. Oh my God.
Now, it doesn't mean you can't get the education in the program.
No,
we do
I
have an adult.
Yeah,
we do have an adult program, but those programs are usually tuition. You'd have to pay a tuition.
And that's the teenagers program? Is that the one you're
for
talking
the
about?
teenagers.
Oh, that's another program.
Yeah, that's a whole nother program.
I love
that's
that.
for seniors.
I got to see senior citizens graduate.
Yeah.
Because they were learning technology, and that's their teenagers program.
Right.
So what's that real quick? We got 1 minute. Talk about that.
The teenagers. Okay, so we also have a program every Friday where we teach senior citizens how to use their cell phone.
That's big. And
how to use that cell phone in conjunction with a regular desktop computer or any kind of computer. So we teach them because the cell phone is a computer.
Right.
And so we teach them how to use that cell phone. You can use Word, Excel, all of those kinds of programs, YouTube, everything with your cell phone. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you for everything that you guys are doing. The new school here and Nuestra Comunidad NWI. Thank you for joining us, Miss Christine. Thank you again. This won't be the last time I'll bring you on.
Thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it very much.
You're welcome. Be blessed. And on that, we're going to get going tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Juan will be back. I have other things to do. I got call duty for things that are happening at our church. So stay tuned. Continue to watch, continue to learn, and continue to grow. Hasta la vista.
Thank you so much.
Nos vemos. Gracias por sintonizarse aquí en nuestra comunidad Noreste Indiana. Regresamos mañana a las 10 aquí con Juan. Yo no voy a estar, así es que I'll be calling in. So thank you so much for watching. Hasta la próxima. Saludos a todos. Learn to love yourself and respect yourself so you can be loved and respected as well. Nos vemos. Don't forget the next show that's coming up is The Sizzle. If you guys like sports, learn something from these awesome, powerful guys, men of God here. The Sizzle is coming up next here on WRTH Radio.
Hey, thank you.
Peace to you guys. Nos vemos.